The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to have a rock and roll session this week. Tomorrow, we're going to have a special day. Arch Crawford's going to be on, and we're going to discuss 9/11. And a lot of things happened, of course, to the United States and the rest of the world on that date. And then we're going to also talk about the crash of 1987. Many of you folks haven't ever experienced anything like that, so we wanted to go through that. Plus, he's going to share with us some key Astro stuff. So Arch Crawford tomorrow, my good friend who lives down the street here in Tucson, Arizona. The thing that on 9/11, I mean, that was really a shaked up day. But the thing that one of the most vivid things, I mean, was I got a phone call right after the second plane hit from my daughter in Hawaii. Kevin was the GPS programmer for Hickam Pearl Air Force Base there at Pearl Harbor. And Jill told me that she said that the MP stopped in front of the house in a van. Two of them came up to the door, knocked on the door, told Kevin he had 30 seconds to get his shoes and pants on because he was going to go into, what was it, the words? I forget the words, like containment or something like that. And she was really shook up. It was like 2:30 in the morning over there with the time difference. And she said, Dad, she says, what does DEFCON 4 mean? And folks, they didn't call DEFCON 4 until after the Pentagon was hit. And so I don't know where that came from, but anyway, that's what happened. They didn't see him for about 5 days. He didn't get to go home. But anyway, that's what happened. My grandson was 18 months old at that time, and I would go over to visit them, well, usually about once a month or so. And Kevin loved like I do, I love the World War II movies. My favorite, of course, was Where Eagles Dare with Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton, and also liked Clint Eastwood in Kelly's Heroes. But Where Eagles Dare is the one we like the best, and we always used to joke about it. And my grandson, he's only 18 months. He was walking and doing a little bit of talking, but he would joke around with it. So when he first got to Hawaii, I bought a little phone recorder for him so that when I called him every day, he would be able to know that I was thinking about him and stuff. So I had a little music, not a sound box, and it had all kinds of sounds on it. And so I had the Battle Hymn of the Republic in the sound box, and then I put in a dogfight from World War II, and then the chatter of a Browning machine gun, 50 caliber machine gun, and then a few bombs going off. And so you'd start out with that, and then I would go the old broadsword to Danny boy, broadsword to Danny boy, come in Danny boy. Only I changed it a little bit. I'd say broadsword to baby chase, broadsword to baby chase, come in baby chase. The chicken is in the pot, the eagle has landed. Copy that, 10-4, 10-4, over and out. And every morning when he got up, he would run over to the recorder, step on his little stool there, and hit the button to listen to his recorded message, which was the same one every day. But then there was a place for him to hit the button to return the call, and he would call back, and he would say, copy that, 10-4, copy that, 10-4. And Jill said he would walk around the house all day for about a year and a half saying, copy that, 10-4. She got a little bit tired of it. But those are some of the memories. I had some, I mean, well, we'll go through it, but boy, that was a really sad day. This is a sad day period for me because it was 3 years ago today that we lost Mark Douglas. And I think about the guy every day. I got his picture right here on my desk, and what a fine fellow he was. Anyway, let's move on. You can see here, this is a very small pattern here in the DAX, a nice little ABCD pattern, very short term. This was sent to us by one of the traders over in the Germany this morning, and it worked out pretty good. But, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's, really what we're looking at. We've got some big things, I think, that are really, really quite important today to pay attention to. And one of them is, some of the trigger mechanisms that I talked about yesterday, or excuse me, last week's show. Another one occurred this past week. And this was the, that was from Where Eagles Dare by Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton, 1968, I believe. Let's take a look here at the, you'll be able to see that we had the big gap down, folks, on Tuesday. That was one of the trigger mechanisms, because we believe that we've got a situation going on similar to other years. Whether it'll happen or not, we don't know, but at least it started in the right direction. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on that. This is also the anniversary of Lehman Brothers going under. That was the largest single bankruptcy the United States has ever had. They were really under the gun because the guy that's trying to save them was the CEO from their arch enemy, Goldman Sachs. And when that happened, it's pretty tough to to get around that. Anyway, we lost them, and at the same time, we almost lost Bear Stearns a short time after that. So that was very important stuff that was going on, at that particular time. So just remember, this is also Rosh Hashanah. This is the first day of the Hebrew New Year, last 10 days. It's basically a lunar cycle starting on the new moon and goes on to the next cycle for 10 days. And Yom Kippur comes in on the 19th of September. I used to do when I was writing the book Astro Cycles, A Trader's Viewpoint, I did a cycle called Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and that was from Barry Lind. He basically he had heard from his grandfather that you buy on Rosh Hashanah and you sell on Yom Kippur. Well, that was easy enough to test, and it doesn't test very well. It tested really well for about 8 or 9 years, and then it went into a period where it didn't work at all. In other words, you could be a seller on Rosh Hashanah and a buyer on Yom Kippur. The dates actually had a little bit of a turning point, but it was really not much to really work with. Not like when you're watching full moons with these super full moons and some of the things that we're looking at, and Mercury going retrograde or direct. It wasn't anywhere near that. So those are some of the things that we're watching right here. Someone's asked a question about these social stocks, Twitter and Facebook. We spent a great deal of time on those this week. I'll just get up here and we'll just remind you that this is what we were looking at. I think we're going to be looking at much lower prices coming in here. This happens to be Facebook. The market, gapped down, rallied up to an exact 382 retracement, and is now taken out the C point and D measures a whole lot more than that. So just keep in mind that this is something that is going to be pretty interesting to see it happen, because this means we're going to come down another 20% in Facebook. And the way these markets are going, you can get 20% in a matter of a few hours. You'll notice that the same thing is happening with Twitter, only not quite as dramatic, but just about, because remember, it's a $30 stock. We've got to take a break here. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I've been informed by 3 different sources that this is also the start of the Islamic New Year, 1440. So we're covering the whole basis of the planet today. We got a caller from California. Daryl, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Quick question on the S&P. You kind of hinted at a few things in the letter this weekend, but I know you bought 65s last week. I know you're bearish, so how do you sort of play it from here? And also, the last question is you sort of referenced a bunch of things in the letter that you couldn't go into, but the sentiment here, if you can go into it, great. I'm curious on the last paragraph, but the sentiment you're hearing from guys, it seemed to tell me that people are pretty bullish and you're bearish and you're getting pushback, or just kind of wanted to get your sense on that as well.
Well, Daryl, I'm glad you brought this up because I shouldn't have said anything when I was even writing the letter, because the person, there were actually 2 people that shared some information with me and asked me not to share it for several months, which I said I wouldn't. But the problem is I mentioned them, and these are very dear friends that I've known for many, many years. And basically what they've looked at are things that are happening in their businesses, in their markets, that are in their trading and stuff, and they're on other sides of the world, so they don't even know each other. And so it's interesting that they came up with the same idea, and the number of times that I've heard from these guys, I mean, I'm in contact with them, of course, but to sit down and go over something really significant in the market does not happen very often. And I, happen to keep pretty good records on that stuff. And when those 2 guys are looking at something and I'm looking at something, of course, I really respect what they do. And that's basically what it is. It's not anything, esoteric or psychic or anything like that, but that's really what it is. They just didn't want but they don't even know each other, and the two things that they're dealing with, Daryl, are totally different. And yet they're coming to the same conclusion. So that's it. As far as the short sale, we were looking for a 20-point rally. We got that on Friday, and so that's pretty much what we went back short today at the 28.85 level, and we sold it at 25 or 29.12. So that's worked out relative. This could be blown out today. You don't know, but that's mainly the main reason. I'm really glad you brought that up, because I was going to send out I have gotten so many emails about that it's really it's just something somebody if you told me something, I wouldn't share it unless unless you asked them, and they said they would, but not right now. So
understood. Thank you very much.
That's my pleasure. Hey, Gerald, did you get bothered by the fires up there or not in California?
No, sir, not yet.
Well, that's good. Okay, listen, thanks for calling in. I certainly appreciate it.
Take care.
Okay, we'll take a look here at, well, someone's asked about a crash or no crash. A crash is going to come, Dudette, but if I told you when it was going to be, I'd have to kill you. I don't want to do that. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's, no one else does either. But the crash will give you some ideas that it's getting ready to happen. In 1987, on that Friday, October the 16th, it was certainly, something went bad here. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I think I've lost the connection, I believe. Can anybody hear me? 10-4, 10-4. Okay, good. I'm getting all kinds of crazy sound. Sorry, folks. But on October the 16th, that Friday, we closed down about 103 points on the Dow that day, and that was a really big tip-off, because you had, it crashed down. You'd rallied up to a 61% retracement back on October the 2nd, exactly 61%, and then on that Friday the 16th, you closed down 103 points. That's when the options expired. I had October options, and I was very happy to see the Dow down 100 points. That was really a big deal. But the next day, if I'd had November options, you just multiplied by about 100 is what you would have made. But that's neither here nor there. But that'll give you, don't think about crashes, and folks. And I'm not, when I put out something like this, I just don't put it out by listen. I'm getting less flack about saying this could be a major top than when the bottom was there on March the 9th of 2009. And I mean, I got a lot of flack on that one. And that one was a flat out no-brainer, in my opinion. But, that's neither here. It's just a pattern. That's all it is. It's my opinion. That's all it is. And believe me, I'm wrong a lot. I'm right a few times. It's just that, maybe it's working this time. I really don't know. I know that when we go below 2860, that's going to be the third thing in the pattern that we're looking at. We've already got the two things already occurred. One is the market started down like it should have on Monday. The second thing is we've seen the junk bond market, HYG, the high grade yield market, gap down. That was number 2. And if we go below 2860 in the S&P, that would be number 3. So whether this will work out like that, I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with this tariff stuff that's going on. I believe the tariff stuff is one of those things where you see my right hand over here and you don't know what the left hand is doing. I believe the left hand is what they're doing is they're having a currency war with China, because China is in big trouble, folks. The 10 biggest banks in the world, the top 6 are Chinese banks, and they've run out of money. And that's not a good thing for a bank to do. So we'll see what's going to happen with it. Watch the Chinese renminbi. If you see that thing trade above 7, it's trading at 6.86 right now. And if that gets above 7, boy, that's going to be pretty scary. That's my 2 cents worth, whether that'll happen or not. When I first started going to China, of course, back in 1995, it was 12 renminbi to the dollar. And the way they changed currencies in the Chinese banks is there would be a little guy sitting on the stool there with a big coat on, and he has all these currencies stuffed in his pockets, and he would give you US dollars or renminbi or Japanese yen, whatever you needed. He had that there. It was not on a It was not a bank where you walk in and they make a 10% on both sides of the trade. That's not how it operated back in those days. Marshall, I'm not saying there's going to be a run on Chinese banks. I'm just saying to watch that, because there could be. And if that's the case, that's not a good thing. But watch that very closely. I believe that the reason why you haven't seen much retaliation on the side of China is they're just not prepared to. They just can't do very much. Look what's happened. They're basically they're giving tariffs on all of the products. That's up to what, 288 billion more. Well, I heard it from the White House this morning. They're going to do another 600 billion in tariffs. Now, that's sort of a joke, but I mean, that's the kind of BS that you have out there. So the market still goes up whether there's tariffs or not. So this has nothing to do with what's going on. That's really nuts. David's asking a question about Hong Kong being the financial capital of the world. I know it's the financial capital of the Eastern world, no question about that. And that's what the Chinese people do, is they try to take their money out of China and put it into Hong Kong. And that's one reason why Hong Kong prices has gone up. You can get a really nice cardboard box on the street corner in Hong Kong for about $600 a month. So just keep that in mind. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I wanted to just bring up to your attention here that this British pound is having a pretty good move. You see, we've had a pretty good bottom down in here around this 127 level, and of course we've got all this news about Brexit and all this other stuff. But I still believe that this tariff stuff that's going on, stop and think what the market's doing, folks. I mean, the market doesn't really care what it's doing, so we'll see what happens. We'll have to, take a quick look at that. We're having a tremendous move here in the hog market. We got to thank our good friend here at TFNN and Tiger's Den, Mr. Z. John came up and was really talking about these hogs for quite a while. And when we got down to that level around 44, we were trading below the cost of production in December hogs. And you can see here that we've got a price objective coming up into this area, another 6 or 8 cents. And that's just the ABCD structure. Whether that's going to have a problem or not, we don't know. John is talking about it this morning, is that this Chinese hog herd disease is intensifying. And that means that, and believe me, the Chinese do not eat beef very often, but they do eat pork, and pork, chicken, and fish. Those are their main things. So pork is very, very important. Those of you that have ever been around farms, you know that even though you think the pigs are really dirty, because if you look at them out, wallowing out in the dirt, they certainly are. But when you're breeding them, boy, that's like a hospital environment. We have a huge hog operation out here in the desert. And it is really, really intense out there. They have to be able to, you have to have all kinds of decontamination things before you can even get on the property out there. So it's very, very important to take care of that when you're raising hogs. Let's take a quick look at one other market that is in very, very precarious position here, folks, and that is the copper market, because we're down at this 260 level again. It's important that it holds above that, because failing to go below that in the copper would really be a significant move to the downside. Giving the next price objective to look for would be right around the level of the around 230. That's down another 30 cents per pound in copper, and that would really be a pretty tough thing to go. I forgot to bring the chart up here of the early morning DAX here. This was the hourly chart that I usually bring in, and I want to bring it up here to see that this is just 60-minute chart. The one I posted earlier was the smaller one, but now you can see the larger pattern that we're looking at here in the DAX. So watch that one with a little bit of important. Now, there's one currency that looks really interesting here from a longer term perspective. We'll just go back and look at it here over the last 6 weeks. You can see here, this is the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. You'll notice that there's two major 1.618 expansion numbers coming in there. That's also a really nice 3 drive to a bottom pattern. It started in the right direction. Whether it's going to continue or not, we have to wait and see if that's going to be the case or not. But that's at least what it's starting to do, is what we sort of expected it to do. Whether it's going to continue doing that or not certainly remains to be seen. So the stock market's still pretty strong. We got the S&P up 10, the Dow up pretty close to 100, NASDAQ smoking like it usually does, and we've had a rally of 61% here in the euro, up around this 116.05 level. Any move above 116.40 would put this back into a really strong buy mode. We think there's a lot of good support coming in a little bit lower in the euro, and we still believe that the euro has potential to go a little bit higher. Longer term, I'm not sure where it's going to go, but longer term is not what we're here for. So let's take a look here. You notice we got down to this 115.25 level, which was a 50% retracement. The 61% retracement comes in at 114.76. So keep your eye on that one over the next day or so, because the U.S. dollar is in that area where it should have rallied to. This was one of the things that we try to do each day when we're doing the newsletter. And you'll notice that we were expecting this market to have a pretty good rally up into this 95 area of 95.80, and we actually hit that. So that could be the end of that move in the U.S. dollar. Now, if we get above 96.50 in that U.S. dollar, that would really, you'll see what's going to happen with that. If it gets above that, you would see it be breaking out. One of the questions being posed this morning is the NASDAQ has been the leader, but don't forget, folks, the NASDAQ has lost a couple of its leaders. It's lost Tesla, and it's lost Facebook, and so these are the things that you want to sort of keep an eye on. Now, I'm going to try to talk just a little bit here. We've got a yes, just one second. Hold on, I gotta let my friend Mr. Monley take a look at something. Okay, and then we'll see. Okay, here we are. Let's get back to this move here. The reason why the level of 28.85 is important in the S&P is because that's been what our rallies have been 20 points. Just go back and look. The reason why, let's just look at this for a second. This is to show you this is my 2 cents worth, and believe me, that's what you're paying. So let's just take a quick look. Look at this. Very good, Dudette. That's exactly right. But let's take a look at this going back. Let's go back into late August. Between the 10th and the 15th, we had that big sell-off. Now, what do you think the value of that sell-off was as we came in here Friday? Those were exactly equal. The sell-off between the 9th and the 15th of August is the same as the one we had between the 29th and the 7th of September. So those are equal. Now, that means if we break below that level, which is that 28.60 level, that's going to be a very, very important level. So let's keep it right. Then if we get above that 28.97, which is right at the 61% retracement, then they're going to start throwing vegetables at me out here in Tucson, Arizona. But, boy, I like salads, so we're good. Hey, we got a caller from Philadelphia. Mr. Z, how are you doing, buddy? What can I do for you?
Hey, I love those stories this morning about Arch Crawford and Jill and Chase. That's terrific.
You know, that little squirt, he doesn't remember any of it. Luckily, I kept records of it. So I gave him the recordings and all the other stuff, and I gave him the sound box and stuff. But, you know, he looks at it and he says, no, he says, I don't remember it. And God, he was doing it every day. He'd walk around the house saying, copy that 10-4, copy that 10-4. And, you know, she'd say, ask him to do something, and he'd say, copy that 10-4. And so it was rather funny, but he doesn't remember it now. So what difference does it make? What can I do for you, my friend?
Shame on him.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old didn't remember what Grandpa said.
Yeah. I can't get any. Yeah, go ahead.
Two topics. The first and most important for me, would you kindly put up into Tiger TV the charts you're looking at and using for the NASDAQ 100 futures, and sure, identify in similar fashion what you've just done for the S&P futures, what level, if broken, tells you something significant, please?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll post a chart. We'll take a break and stay with us, and we'll be right back. Okay, John?
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking with Mr. Z out of Philadelphia. John, you were asking me the question, what would be the corresponding price of the NASDAQ as it was the price of 2860 in the September S&P futures? That number is at 73.90, John. That's the number that I'm looking at. Now, you notice the chart that I posted into the room here, we're in effect in a 6-day down move, and so we are due for some type of a rally. The question is, if we break those lows, we might not get a rally. So that's the number I'm looking at, which roughly 73.90 in the NASDAQ.
Very good. I appreciate that. I wanted to secondarily ask you about the euro currency, euro versus the dollar. There was some overnight weakness in the euro down to, I think, 115.30 on the cash cross pair. And then we see some buying and prices bubbled up. Is that significant as you see it, looking past just today and tomorrow?
Not really, John, because I'm looking at a price to come in right around 114.80 in the euro, and the high that we made today, we had a 70-point rally off the bottom, and that stopped right at the 61% retracement at 116.05. Until we get above 116.30, I don't think it really means very much, but we could easily turn this around and see it run quite a bit to the upside if we get above 116.40. It still looks good on the charts as near as I can tell, so we'll just have to wait to see what the next cannon shot comes in out of Washington or New York or someplace like that that's going to give us some information on what do we think the dollar is going to do.
Excellent. Thanks for that input, Larry. I'm going to sign off, but before I do so, just wanted to share a thought on the hog futures markets. By the way, I just love your decisive action when you see patterns you recognize complete, which led you to that buy of Dees hog futures down at 44, 45. Of course, they're 57 now. What I wanted to share on this is we're all familiar now that there is some sort of problem, and not quite sure how large the problem is over in China in its hog herd, with a viral disease that has spread somewhat. I share the idea that it, for me anyway, is worth following today, 2018, modeled by what happened between Labor Day of 13 into Easter of 2014. And back then, in 13-14, there was a viral disease that hit the U.S. hog herd that killed piglets, not hogs, not humans, but the piglets. And the hog herd, or at least the piglet crop herd, was hit very badly, and hog supplies then fell for a year's time, and the hog futures prices went from 60, 70 in the fall of 13, and they peaked somewhere near 130, 140. And what I share with you here is that disease became known Labor Day of 13. And if you go back and study the charts of hog futures prices, the hog futures prices didn't rally at all into late fall, early winter. But then when it got cold and all the animals are enclosed, from the cold, the disease spread like wildfire, and then the pig crop declined dramatically, and futures prices exploded within 60 days. That was like the December to February time period. So I just share that, and I'm thinking about that feature as possibly being at work today over in China. So that is for what it's worth, and we'll see.
Well, it's good to know the history because, we can't really get accurate data out of China. Even though it's one of the largest countries in the world, you still don't get good information out of there because it's very closed. But watching the charts certainly helps a bit, and right now they're headed higher, so I think your scenario is pretty much spot on, John.
Larry, thanks for your input on stocks, and I was very interested to hear your conversation with Daryl from California. So thanks again.
Okay, thanks a lot for calling in. Folks, you're all welcome to call in, 877-927-6648 if you have any questions. And, we'll be happy to. Just don't ask me anything about politics or cryptocurrencies. If you can ask me about a bar chart, I'm okay with that. But other than that, just keep an eye on what these patterns are doing. That's the main thing that we're really trying to see here, what's going to happen over a period of time on what's going on. I think the most important thing last week was the fact that we had that gap down in the high yield junk bond contract, even though it's pretty heavily traded, but it basically tells that the market wants to go lower. And if you take a look at the just take a look at the Treasury bond contract that we were watching here, you'll notice here that we were supposed to have a beautiful head and shoulders pattern, which we did, and we had a pretty good rally of about 4 points that should have extended all the way up to 147. As you can see, we're rolling over now, and this is not a good pattern, folks. This big down week last week pretty much tells us that we're heading down, lower prices, i.e. higher interest rates. The Treasury notes are showing the same type of pattern. So that's pretty much telling you that, we should be going up in these interest rates and down in the Treasury notes and Treasury bonds. But that's a prediction by looking at the charts. Nothing more, nothing less, but keep in mind that they work sometimes a lot better than you might want to think. Now, also, since we were talking about Chinese banks, let's take a quick look here at the U.S. banks. This is the banking index. As you can see, we topped way back here in January. We had that big break, went back and made a double top. Then we went sideways for 5 months, stopping at the 61% retracement, no less than 10 times. And now we've started to roll over to the downside. This is not, this is strong distribution up in here, folks. That means these banks are not nearly as in good a shape as they would like for you to believe. So sort of watch that as you go through. We always keep a close eye on Deutsche Bank from our old German friends over there, but that thing is still headed down as near as we can tell, but one step at a time as they usually move. One of the questions again about these these stocks with social networking. I don't know much about it. All I know is both Twitter and Facebook had these huge gaps down. So something has changed. The economic thought has not been continuing in those. So what they were looking for in the future has changed, and that's why you see these big gaps, and people have made some decisions that they're going to go lower. Now, we're looking for a minimum price at 132, roughly in that area, for Facebook. So watch that very, very closely. I mean, you gap down, you rally to a 382 retracement, and then lower. This is not bullish action, boys and girls. Billy Ray Valentine calling you from the offices of Duke & Duke.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and we are seeing the market still holding up really strongly this morning. Keep in mind that figure that I'm looking for to accelerate the market to the downside, if this would ever happen in some wild stretch of someone's imagination, and that number is 2860 in the S&P. That's for the September futures. We'll be rolling over let's roll that over to December. So we'll be doing that very, very shortly here. In fact, it's going to be done today. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to have, as I mentioned, Arch Crawford's going to be on. We're going to be talking about 9/11 and the ramifications of it. We're also going to be talking about the 1987 stock market crash. And we will, there's not many people that were around that were trading it actively. And Arch and I have been friends for 40 years, and we've traded through some of these together. We were actually on the phone the day that the first plane hit. We were actually chatting about something else. When the plane hit, he saw it right. Well, he'll go through it tomorrow, but very interesting, some of the things that he'll share with us about the 9/11 thing. So stay tuned tomorrow for Arch Crawford, a Crawford Perspective. We'll do a little bit of astrology, of course, and he'll give us some good feedback. Right now, we're holding up pretty good and everything, so we could very easily make new highs, I suppose. And we'll see. We got gold at 1203. It's rallied $7 here in the last hour. Silver's starting to move up, leading the way for the first time in a long time. If you bought that silver down there at that 1410 level, put your stop at break even and tie your shoes and hope for the best. That's really all you can do. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. Try to come by tomorrow, folks, and listen to Arch Crawford. He's always got some great information, very entertaining. And then later on in the week, we're going to have Stan Harley on for the Harley Stock Market Letter. And hopefully, with a little bit of luck, at the end of the week, we're going to be able to have Bill Meridian from Cycles Research out of Vienna, Austria. May God bless.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!